All right, guys, welcome back to the Master and Apprentice video / podcast. Today we're doing a different tier list. Once again, just throwing it up, not all Star Wars content. We've got a Halo tier list. I don't know if any of you guys are Halo fans out there. This was probably the first game I ever played when I was about 7. I remember my dad played this when he got back from Iraq back in like 2003 or 4. So I've grown up with this franchise pretty much forever. I always had an Xbox. Athens' first console was an Xbox. So we've both just kind of been surrounded with Xbox and Halo pretty much our whole life. And if any of you guys are Xbox kids, you know what I'm talking about.
If you're PlayStation kids, I'm deeply sorry for you, but anyway.
All right. So we've got sexy, Gucci, mid-tier, short people, and booty hole. I mean, in the order they are, sexy is top tier. We think this is the best. Gucci, pretty great, just not the best. Mid-tier, just middle of the line. It's just a game. Short people, on the merge of being pretty bad, but also just decent. And booty hole is stinky. So we'll go right into Halo CE. This is also counting for the remasters. So just keep that in mind. Me personally, I like Halo 1. But out of all of them, I think it's like just mid-tier at the best, to be honest. Maybe even short people. Just because it's so, I mean, I know it's the first one, so it's really fun and great, but it's just so old that, like, I wouldn't even use an excuse that's old, because when I get to Halo 2, I have high remarks for that, but Halo CE is just, wasn't a lot for it, and, I mean, at the end of the game, you wouldn't even know there's a whole franchise behind it, so you could kind of be fine with just having a one-off game, which is kind of what they were doing when they made it. They didn't realize this game was going to take off. So for me, I'm at short people or mid-tier for this one.
I was going to throw it in mid-tier. I honestly like the game a lot. Very good mechanics. I think ahead of its time a little bit.
The story's great. Don't get me wrong. The story's
just
awesome.
old. That's really our only complaint. Like, if you updated this today and made it like a brand new game, it'd be awesome. Either top of short people or bottom of mid-tier. I'd say top of short people for now. Put it bottom of mid-tier if we change our minds.
We can put it mid-tier. We can move things as the time goes on.
Yeah.
All right, next we got Halo 2. I think Halo 2 is Gucci. I think it's really great for, I mean, I know it was made quite a few couple years after Halo CE, but just so many mechanics were added that it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like what CE turned into to Halo 2. Like, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and the story just evolved so much better right there. I mean, Halo 1 through 3, the story is the best right there for sure, and Reach. But
yeah.
Halo 2, if we move CE down, I think it goes mid-tier, but I think it definitely is way better than CE.
I would agree that it's better. I love all the mechanics they added. I mean, dual wielding isn't in still, like in the new games like Infinite, but that is just such a fun mechanic to play. Like, if you're playing random games, I'm putting it bottom of mid-tier for now, but or top of mid-tier, bottom of Gucci.
Well, we'll put Gucci in top of short people.
Okay.
Halo 3. Personally, Halo 3 is tied for my favorite. Halo Reach and 3 are my favorite. I love 3. It kind of, I guess it's backwards. I was going to say Gears of War kind of mirrors this, where 1 through 3, the story arc for those 3 games was just phenomenal. So when Halo 3 ended, I was just like, I love that. That story mode was awesome. The campaign was phenomenal. Customization for multiplayer was awesome. The guns were awesome. Different like abilities and things like that. Like, they added more stuff, and it still was just awesome. And the story was just, I think out of all the stories, it's probably one of the best. It's really good.
Yeah. That's what I'd say, actually. Great plot in Halo 3, and there's really nothing to complain about. So
I would put sexy, but bottom of the sexy compared to the other stuff when we get there. 3 ODST. It's close to short people, but I'm probably going to put it mid-tier just because they really tried to do something different with this one. And so I just feel like it's kind of boring at points because it's dark and it's so big that you just didn't really know where you're going half the time. But it was way different, and like for what they did with it, I actually really loved it. The story was intriguing for a one-off, like kind of like a side game. It was pretty intriguing. But I'd say mid-tier, best, maybe short people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd put it above Halo CE personally, but that's it. It's definitely below 2.
I played very limited amount of ODST, but I liked what I saw. I didn't think it was great, But I thought, yeah, another one of those pretty good Halo games. I do like that they were trying something different because this is way different than all the other Halo games. Just less life and all that. I put it bottom of mid tier. I personally put it below Halo CE, but
we'll put it there because we haven't really played it. So.
Yeah.
All right, Halo 4. As time has gone on, I've really grown distaste for Halo 4. I just think they could have done way better. I get like wanting to reboot the gaming franchise again, like what they did with Gears of War, another Microsoft gaming franchise that they rebooted after 3. But like the things that they did add, they didn't really make them that great. Like for the most part, all the Forerunner guns kind of sucked. The story for this really wasn't the most intriguing, in my opinion. There were some intriguing parts about it, but I don't really think it was that great. I think it's bottom of mid-tier, if not short people. I don't hate it. It's definitely not my least favorite Halo, but I just – and its multiplayer wasn't really good. I think Halo 3 had a better multiplayer, and Halo Reach, and those games were both way older. So I just feel like it just didn't have a whole lot going for it.
I think Halo 4 was trying to get ahead of itself a lot. They added so many mechanics, and they didn't all work perfectly executable. I'd say short people. It's like they had, you could sprint, you could do this or that, but you could only use certain amounts of it, and it ran out really quickly. I like what the newer ones are doing, where only certain things are. It's multiplayer was decent at best, and the plot wasn't great, so it's just all around not the best, Yeah.
Halo 5, I go back and forth. Sometimes I think it's one of the worst Halo games. I think it is probably one of the worst Halo games. But sometimes I think it's all right because it's kind of like the same predicament that Halo 4 is, where they just tried to do a lot of different things. It wasn't really a reboot, but it was a while since Halo 4. Because I believe Halo 5 was 2016 and Halo 4 was 2012.
Yeah.
Something like that. So they had a decent amount of time in between them. But Halo 5, I don't even know. Like, I just feel like it just took a lot of the Halo feeling away. It wasn't really Halo anymore, right? And that's part of why Halo Infinite's reboot, like when they redid it with Halo Infinite, it was like they were going back to where they started while still adding new stuff. But like Halo 5 is just so far from what Halo was.
Yeah.
So I think Halo 5, I think it's better than 4. So I think if we put in short people, Halo 4 goes down the booty hole.
I like that. I put Halo 5 in short people and 4 in booty
because
hole.
I also think Halo 5 had a way better multiplayer than Halo 4.
I think Halo 5's multiplayer was honestly one of the better ones. Not like top tier. I don't think it was better than Halo 3 by any means.
I think Halo 3, Reach, and Infinite all have a way better multiplayer, but Halo 5 is definitely top 5.
Yeah. Halo 5 was one of the first games. My parents were pretty anal about me playing FPS games, and Halo 5 was one of the first FPS games, if not the first, that I've ever played. So not looking at it from a franchise standpoint, I was like, this game is awesome. Had a whole bunch of mechanics. A lot of other people, including Sammy, and now after playing the other games myself, don't like it. Why would you be able to boost if you couldn't boost in any of the other games? Just a whole bunch of little mechanics I didn't like them adding, but standalone game, I honestly liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. And then Halo Reach, for me, this is my favorite game. I just think it had probably the best story. When you play Halo, you see it's like a war against aliens, and you see these super soldiers, and you kind of get the feeling like everyone's always with an army except for you. You're always alone, right? And when I played all through the Halos, right, besides Halo 3, there was never really a big point where you're with a lot of other dudes, right? I mean, in Halo 2, when you play as the Covenant, you're with Covenant. But, like, for the rest of it, you're always by yourself killing bad guys. And I love that Reach, for, like, the first time, like, introduced, like, having your squad and your team with you and, like, having these big battles. It was so awesome. I love that it was it was the first game to not be part of, I believe, I don't remember if ODST came out first. They came out relatively around the same time. But it was one of the first games that, like, it wasn't the Master Chief. It was something else, right?
Yeah.
And I really did love that. But its multiplayer is my favorite. Its customization is my favorite.
The Forge?
The Forge is my favorite. Like, everything about it is my favorite. Is there some things that I don't love about it? Absolutely. There is for each game, but like out of all of them, if I chose a game I would want to play the most, it'd still be Reach instead. I still have the 360 disc of Reach, and I still play it all the time because it's just one of my favorite games of all time.
I like Halo Reach a lot. There's nothing you can say bad about it except for graphics, and that's only because of its year. I put it top of sexy. I really do. Just because there's nothing you can say bad about it. I didn't play through the entire campaign, but I've heard amazing things about it.
Okay. Halo Infinite is kind of a winning and losing battle for me. Do I want to put it in sexy? Yes. I believe it goes in Gucci, though. Just the fact that, release, this game is awesome. The campaign is so new, but it also goes back to its core, which is awesome. I love that about it. Its multiplayer started out hot, and it's kind of hot now, but for a while there, it's super stagnant. And I feel like that's part of the problem. They have a lot of problems with multiplayer just leaving it, not fixing the problems, right?
Yeah.
And in today's multiplayer basis, like a lot of these other multiplayers, you could change something and leave it for 6 months and then go back and update it, right? You need weekly updates. You need monthly updates. That's how multiplayer is now, right? Fortnite set the standard of we have monthly updates.
There's not something new. You're going to go into another game. That's just how it is.
That's just how the gaming world is now. And I think it really lacks that, right? Because when I play, I'm like, I get bored of it sometimes really quick. Right now, I'm loving it because they just introduced a bunch of stuff. But how long is it going to be again before?
If they don't update it, I'm going to stop playing this in 2 weeks.
So I can't decide if I want it sexy or Gucci.
I'm putting it Gucci, but below 2.
I want to put it above 2. So I think it's like introduces so much new stuff, which is why I'll have 2 so high. But I think it just does it.
I'd actually put it above 2. It did it. Halo 5 was trying to do. Halo 4 was trying to do. It executed it well. It had a whole bunch of new stuff, and it didn't suck. Good campaign, which neither had, and good multiplayer as well.
Yeah,
which only 5 had.
All right. So for podcast listeners, on top we have Sexy, our top rated Halo game. And I believe this is for most people. I know most people love this. We have Halo Reach. Then we have Halo 3. And then going into Gucci. Top Gucci, we have Halo Infinite, and then Halo 2, and then going into mid-tier, we have Halo 3 ODST, and then Halo CE. Then going into short people, we have Halo 5, and then last but not least, booty hole, we've got Halo 3. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you guys agree with this. I know most people didn't love 5 and 4, so most people have them down low. I know most people love Reach, and most people have Reach pretty high, so I know most people agree with that, but just let me know if you guys don't agree with that standard and just the other ones in the middle. Where do you guys rate those two? Because I know I have a bunch of friends who also play Halo, and it's just a popular franchise, especially now, like I said, Infinite's kind of getting heated up again with their updates. But then, yeah, you got anything else, Afton?
That's it for me.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.